Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. It is January 2nd, 2024, and we are following the Kaitlyn Bristowe, Jason Tartick, even though the relationship's already over, drama that surrounds the two of them. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals, patreon.com/Dave Neal for behind-the-scenes bonus content. On this morning's Patreon, which I'm going live right after this, we'll be anxiously awaiting Clayton Echard's paperwork that he's returning after the Jane Doe filings from a few days before New Year's. It's a whole mess, but it's very, very interesting. And also this afternoon, Bachelor Rush Hour, the hit podcast. I'll have all of your entertainment news in one spot. So we're going to get into this story regarding Jason Tartick unfollowing Kaitlyn Bristowe. But actually more interesting than that is the comments he said on his Instagram story. He's getting a little bit of pushback, not nearly as much as Kaitlyn Bristowe has gotten. So we're going to get into that in a second, but there's two other stories we need to catch up on. Eliza from Bachelor in Paradise the last 2 years has now soft launched a new man. I'm going to talk our way through this reel she's got. As you know, she tried to date Justin Glaze last year. This year she was engaged, and then that broke up with Aaron. That didn't last until the ending of the show. She never made any comment about it. She kind of just disappeared. She went to Italy and was drinking some red wine. Well, now we have the image of who that guy is. I'm going to share that with you momentarily. Is it big news? I mean, you tell me. I don't know. It's a storyline in the Bachelor world. It's certainly not on the upper echelons of royalty breakups as far as, big players like Kaitlyn Bristowe. Here she is with her man, but they both look very young. He looks like he might be, they both look like they're about 21 years old. But either way, young love, folks. So there it is. People are going, oh, did you just hard launch a guy? Technically, it's a soft launch because she didn't post his Instagram. It's only a hard launch when you officially say who the person is. So this is a soft launch here. And in another launch, we've got Serene Brooke Russell, a good friend of the program here. Serene posting this on New Year's. Lots more to smile about this year. So grateful to be where I'm at. And then she's got a nice diva pose in a, what I'm assuming is fake white fur jacket on New Year's Eve, doing the dang thing. And of course, I believe that's in reference to no longer being engaged to Brandon Jones. So yeah, no longer engaged there, and we've got a no longer engaged Kaitlyn Bristowe. Of course, they broke up 4 or 5 months ago, right? But here they are. Here Kaitlyn is with her arm around Zac Clark, which made the internet go crazy yesterday. And of course, we already shared Kaitlyn's response. She basically said, I wouldn't want to be any of the losers that are spending their January 1st talking about me. How my ass taste. I made that last part up. But that's basically what she was saying was, how my ass taste as I go on with my life. And of course, people criticized her for even responding, but it's like, what's a person to do, right? So that's her response. We're not going to get the same sort of frank response from Jason. That's just not his jazz. But what we do have is Jason essentially unfollowing Kaitlyn, which you can't blame him. Who wants to follow their ex when they're with a new guy? You know what I mean? Can't blame Jason at all. I mean, it's not newsworthy when I unfollow an ex because no one's rabidly looking at all of my, dating things because I'm in a boring marriage. Hey, boring is good. It's just not good for entertainment news, but it's good for reality and mental health. That's for sure. Be boring. So either way, here's what Jason posted yesterday, clearly after that story had already broken. Happy New Year. And one of the comments here is the telling comment from his co-producer at Trading Secrets said, let's just pretend 2024 starts tomorrow. Kid deserves a true fresh start to the year, which again wouldn't be a big comment. And then Jason responds, I support this. Not only did Jason support that, he actually shared that on his Instagram story. So he unfollows Kaitlyn. Again, no blame there. We don't know how the relationship ended. But he says January 2nd, 2024, the official first day of 2024. And look, I support this. You know what I mean? Like, I support January 2nd. I mean, no one starts their New Year's diets on January 1st. You're still... Sorry about that. You're still nursing your hangover and doing all of that. So either way, Jason clearly shares with his audience. And I wonder, Kaitlyn Bristowe posted a violin. Was that to the Bachelor fans, or was that to Jason to say, oh, you're the one who everyone pities because you got your heart broken, and I'm the big bad witch that's out there? Maybe that's not exactly true, but you can understand why she would feel that way, because she's the more famous and successful partner, and some believe she was the one who was the catalyst for the breakup, which I don't. I think they both kind of were like, look, what are we doing? And they had to have a heart-to-heart and realize that they had let the fire of their relationship go out. Sometimes you can bring it back, sometimes you can't. So either way, Jason posts at a dog park. There are the dogs. I guess they're in New York with him. Maybe they flew to New York with him, splitting time, doing their thing, and he posts with some friends there getting food out there, and someone's saying, hey, well, there are 366 days this year, so if you get rid of January 1st, you still have 365 left. So that's where he's at. And then he posts, which will be very interesting, this Instagram story where he shares, actually, let's go to the next one, where he shares that he's going to have a Jason Tells All. If he wants good numbers on his podcast, he's going to discuss this New Year's event.
It'll be the best. It's been a little minute. Boys are still waiting. But while I'm out here, once a year, every year, the same questions I ask my guests on Trading Secrets, I get asked by the Curious Canadian. So I'm in the hot seat. It's a Jason Tells All. We're recording January 3rd. So any questions you have about my last year professionally, financially, personally.
All right, personally, I don't think anyone cares financially, but we're very interested to see what he has to say. As we covered, he offered clues that he was the one dumped. Although, regardless of who was the one that said, okay, enough is enough, I think they both can agree they together were co-parties to a relationship dying.
Can't get into my new house, so I'm like a nomad. Been staying at friends' houses, been staying at hotels, family members. It's actually been a really good time to reconnect with family and the foundation of friends that, mean the most to me and that have helped me through this tough time. Like it's every day is getting better, which is good. In the healing process, I think it just works in all kinds of steps, and it works in steps to get what inevitably, hopefully, will be acceptance. I'm still working towards that, getting there. It's just tough, it's really, really challenging. And I've said it before, but when you love someone and they let you go, and you have to just pick yourself up, you have to navigate, you have to find your confidence again.
When you love someone and they let you go. Now, again, that doesn't mean that he was the innocent party here. People are commenting and starting to have a little bit of pushback on him. Someone said, so can we finally acknowledge that Jason also posts on social media for attention and to play the victim? This guy is acting like a puppy who got kicked in the face. He drug his heels over getting married. They broke up, and now he's moving on by going on dates. He's not devastated and wounded. He likes the attention as much as Kaitlyn does. Someone else also said, Jason and Kaitlyn are so well matched in regards to their social media. Jason is thirsty and calculating, but let's be for real. He probably wasn't expecting to wake up to a bunch of texts and comments about Zac Clark on January 1st. That would sour anyone's mood. Anyway, I'm looking forward to see how this all develops. Maybe people can focus less on Tayshia and Jason instead of the two actual lovebirds. Well, look, and I said this on the podcast earlier, and I can't be more clear. I don't believe Kaitlyn and Tayshia are friends. I don't believe Kaitlyn owes Tayshia anything. And I do, and some people are saying, oh, this video of Kaitlyn with her arm around Jason, what a violation of trust by one of her friends to post it. As far as I'm concerned, I feel like that photo or video was approved, and that was part of the soft launch of the new year for Kaitlyn. Now, did they know that they were going to have some, again, this is kind of, I don't want to call it fan fiction, but it's fan interpretation at the very least, in that I believe she wouldn't have had that info with her and Zac come out if they weren't a real deal couple. And we'll have to see. I mean, maybe they're moving fast. We don't know. I think it's a great idea for Zac living and working in New York City, her in Nashville, to have their own lives. Maybe they won't jump into things very quickly if they do get together, and if they are staying together. They've both got their own businesses they're working on. But again, if she was to maybe want to overcome the issues she had with Jason, if this relationship was serious. Maybe she makes moves to make that relationship more official in a faster way. We've seen this happen in the past where you go, like, take Claire Crowley, for example, right? You know, relationships don't work out, they don't work out, and all of a sudden, boom, new guy, baby on the way, things happen fast. I'm not pushing that on Kaitlyn. I have no idea about her and her relationship with Zac, but what I do know is her and Jason are broken up. He is dating other people. He hasn't soft launched anyone, but clearly, if you have to ask my opinion, clearly he's out there putting the work in, doing his thing. He's a single guy moving to New York City, the greatest city in the world for being single. Here's an interesting article I found. Why women can be likable or successful, but not both. Now, hey, it's your boy. That's right. Dave Neal, feminist entrepreneur over here. And again, this article references Hillary Clinton, which is a tough example because she's so wildly unlikable as a person. So it's a tough example. But the idea stands that a lot of people don't think women can be likable and successful. And we have sort of that issue with Kaitlyn where she's supremely likable to the people that like her. But to the people that hate her, every single thing she does pisses people off. The article says, with men, success and ambition are correlated with likability. So the more successful a man is, the more likable he becomes. With a woman, guess what? It's the exact opposite. Now, in my last video, I talked a little bit about some internalized misogyny that exists out there, and it comes with different spots. Like, men can have a sort of misogyny, a hatred towards women based on their own being dumped and all of their own issues that they have to unpack, you know. But women can also have a hatred towards other women as well, and that can be rooted in a lack of success and watching someone else have the success you wish you had. Either way, here's what we know. We have an audience of primarily 92+% women, and a subsegment of that audience hates Kaitlyn. Is she just that awful of a person? No, she's a successful person who unapologetically tells you how she feels. She's been slut-shamed for it. She's been trolled. She's been, has dealt with haters the whole 9 yards. The internet. So the article, and again, it's just an opinion piece here, talks about like the Cruella de Vil, Meryl Streep character in The Devil Loves Prada. These characters that are just so unliked because they're successful. Again, also a very bad example because Meryl Streep's character was an awful person. Like there's more successful people you could talk about and look at why they are not liked. My thought is this: when it comes to Kaitlyn, the people that don't like her, Kaitlyn is super successful. So it's almost like a weird form of hazing by the audience where they go, well, she's so successful, she can handle it. She's not worth, the route she took to get the fame and fortune she has was fraudulent because we don't like her for this reason or we don't like her for that reason. It's almost as if the hateful people that exist out there are looking for a blueprint to not like Kaitlyn because it justifies why they're not where she is. Does this make sense? It's very complicated, but in the end, it all comes down to this. No successful person has enough time or bandwidth to make fun or hate on somebody else. You think you will, and then once you find success, you realize, I don't have time to deal with the people behind me. I'm looking forward. Kaitlyn is, Jason is, and we're going to see what that means for them moving forward. I can't wait to hear his latest podcast. We'll see if he addresses it. If there's any other breaking news, I'm going to be covering it on today's podcast, Bachelor Rush Hour. It's been a very interesting start to the new year, a very interesting story. And it can go in two directions. Either Jason and Kaitlyn, stay in lockstep and don't discuss their breakup and continue to move forward, or one or two of them veer off and say, you know what, gloves are coming off, and this is how I feel about this person and the bitterness that comes and all of that. I hope for their sanity that they decide to keep their breakup seen in a way that was on friendly terms. But you never know what's going to happen. We'll be back with more content. I'll be live on the Patreon right after this.